So this is the video for the first session of the alternate Stathmore region, which in comparison to the main one, I am completely powerless. I am not the dungeon master, I am instead a player in the region of Stathmore. Where, I think I showed a map. Yeah, I showed a map in the introduction video where the players that are under my command, that makes me sound evil, are in the east. We are going to be in the north kind of middle region. And sorry, in about 15 seconds, my microwave's about to go off. I'm hungry. So I'm actually playing as a bard rogue. And I'll probably do a player profile, and I can't really reveal too much because I have a few things I'd like to keep to myself. So I'm playing as a bard rogue, a brogue that's kind of doesn't really say anything about himself. He calls himself the One. He's not really egotistical. He's just, he has some things. And to his friends, like, to his party, he even says, like, what the name I'm about to tell you is not my real name. He calls himself Sir Dockin of Whitesnake Village. I like hair metal. I'm sorry. So he's this really kind of interesting character, very charismatic, likes to make jokes, in which I accidentally also gave him a Joker sort of esque accent, completely by accident. So anyway, let's get on to what the session's about. So we had myself and my fiance. 2 players. She's playing, I think it's a ranger. Pretty sure it's a ranger. I'm going to say a ranger. So she's playing a ranger, and I'm playing this brogue. I'm not going to trademark that because there's no point. Anyway, so we do this whole. We're sitting in a tavern waiting for a contact. Pretty the usual opening. I don't want to say usual, but basically we're trying to get into this one of the guilds of what's known as the Celestial Hand, because the way that the dungeon masters set it out is the entire city is actually built sort of like a hand, where you have, it actually looks sort of like this: the 10 guilds, and the 2 main ones in the middle are sort of like the ruling class, sort of like the mages. They're very pompous. The palms are usually the living districts. Then you have the main gate, the sub gate, and then of course where the actual guild offices are, and like where everything is. This, if you're affiliated with a guild, this is where you more or less live. This is where some things happen, and this is where everything happens. So we're trying to get into a guild, or form our own, or something. So we get a contact, and there's this someone from the Mages Guild comes up to us and just says, we need you to. It's very blunt. She just basically say, we need you to go into a mage's tower. And my character's like, okay. When do we begin? Now. Okay, so we actually. So we're sitting there talking, and we're talking about like the dangers and why and all this other stuff. Weird things have been happening in the forest, which I'll be getting to, like really strange things. And there's some kind of, just seems like evil magic that's in this mage's tower. By the way, a little bit of history about the mage's tower. It used to be like a meeting place for mages, and for a school, but it's kind of just got decrepit, and everyone fled it. I don't want to say fled. Oh, they left. So everyone left there. It's a yeah. That's pretty much it. I didn't get really much into it myself because my character didn't know. So, and that's the comparison of DM versus player. I don't know, so therefore my player doesn't know. Therefore, I don't know. My character doesn't know. Therefore, I don't know, and I literally don't know because I didn't make this. So a very tall very, very, very tall, big woman. Well, this character, I should say, is right behind us. I hear her approach. Gave this like whole comedic like thing. Just kind of taps the armor. Doesn't even look back. Just says, hello, how are you? And doesn't really get much of a response. So the mage that contracted us said, "Oh, I guess you're going to be joining them." So she nodded, and with the new addition to the party, because no one had any objections, we all went downstairs to, I guess, begin this. And we're like, okay, well, how do we get there? Like, stand against that wall. So we stand against the wall kind of flips around, we get Scooby-Doo'd into a, I don't know the rights to Scooby-Doo, I'm copyright stuff. Anyway, so we end up in this forest. Look back, no wall, no nothing, so we're like, okay, so there's only one way to go, so we realize that the forest is really, interesting, let's just say that. We, move along, some vine blights are in the middle of the road. She's a ranger. She identifies that these vine blights are actually set up a trap for us. So, like, we just kind of go around, and, this road's about, like, 6,000 feet, so, like, every 1,000 we have a checkpoint, if you will. And one thing that happened was, like, a treant was chasing a deer. I don't know what I'm thinking. Right behind us, and we're just like, okay, we almost got trampled by a treant. So we keep moving on, and we end up having to fight some vine blights, end up having to fight some more. Very narrowly evade a treant. And then, we make it to this gate, drop it down, and here's this massive tower, and, as we're in this courtyard area, the trees and the little plants are laughing at us. So, like, it's very eerie. The forest is literally alive and is out to get us. Also, I forgot to mention, for some reason, during a segment of the walking, my character started singing, and actually sort of calmed the forest for a bit. So I'm very curious on what that's about. Anyway, we go inside. I kind of put myself against the door. The ranger goes inside, sees two animate armors, and they're like, "We have to remove you." She said, "What if I just leave?" And they were like, "No, we have to remove you." So I don't know why they feel so dedicated to remove us, but you get it. So we ended up having to fight. They didn't even touch us. I felt good about that. They did not even touch us, mainly because we're all rangers. Oh boy, that's gonna be weird later. Anyway, we could either have gone up or down. So why go to the tallest point, the highest point in the tallest tower, when we can go to the lowest point? So as soon as we hit that bottom stairwell, it smells like death, except death that actually smells worse than death. It smelled bad. So we went downstairs. I'm not getting this wrong. We approached this hallway with 3 doors, and so we open the first one. It's just awful smell. And then we go into the second one. We realize that there's bodies that have been there for many, 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 many years, preserved by magic. Sure, we'll just call it magic. And then we hear a great roar from one of the back rooms, the room that we just were about to go into. So we're just like, okay, well, I guess we're gonna get ready. So we look inside the room, and there's a zombie ogre sprawled out at the far end of the room, and it springs up to life and looks around for its club and rips. And it can't find the club. No matter, it ripped the table from the ground to try and beat our new compatriot. I'm like just shooting from the back way. I'm like because this thing is huge. It is just massive. Anyway, so we eventually take it down. It was a fun fight. It was a really fun fight. And then we went downstairs to what just piles and piles of bodies, just everywhere, hole in the wall, and in one of the corners, a carry-on crawler is stacking bodies into a pile. And that's our cue to maybe move around. Well, that was my idea. The ranger and the other individual that still hasn't spoken yet said, let's take it out. And my character's like, no, but okay. So he hides behind a bunch of barrels in the far corner of the room, because this room was still used for something. It's just now body storage. I'm not going to say the quote from Pulp Fiction for people saying, you know how people are. Not, wow, that's going to make it sound bad. You know how social justice warriors are, and I don't care if this gets flagged or whatever. But insert that quote here. So we end up fighting this thing. I end up hiding behind barrels and just firing, hiding. So that after that rotation goes through, we end up killing this thing. It ends up actually finding me, and we end up killing it because it's we have the this big character in armor just beating it while I'm shooting it, so it doesn't even matter at this point. So we end up going downstairs, and there's a bunch of ghouls and ghasts, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to fight ghouls and ghasts because I know what happens out of game. I'm like, I know what happens if you fight ghouls and ghasts, and you're bit. So they were like, did you please kill the queen bug, please kill the bug, please kill the bug, and I'm like, I'm not understanding quite what he's trying to say, because I don't consider the thing that we fought, the carry-on crawler, to be a bug. I guess it is. I don't know. Anyway, so the ranger kind of catches on and says, "Oh no, we killed it." They're like, "Thank you so much, thank you so much, thank you so much." And they kind of flee and start like eating the carry-on crawler, and they're like, "You can have whatever you want in the room." So we're searching around for stuff, and we're rolling our search checks. I felt bad. The ranger ends up finding. I end up finding like swords and shields and like typical. Well, not even shields, just swords. Just like, I found nothing. What have you found? And the ranger says, I found this bag. And my characters are very, very curious. So this isn't metagaming. I looked at the bag, and it's a bag of holding, and she finds it in like one of the back corners of the room, and also a scroll of, I forgot what the scroll was. Anyway, so like he's just like, okay, let's pack up some of these swords into crates or into bags, and cushion them, and then put them in there, so that way we can sell them or have our own guild shop, because why not? So realizing that this is the final floor downward, we go up. And we rest in the main corridor. Yeah, we rest in the main corridor where we met up, and I spoke to the character that just would not speak, and she takes off her helmet, and I finally see that's she, and my character is interested in this, and he sees like she's got her own scars, and she's got one like right across here, and he said, so you don't speak or whatever. And so he gives her a sheet of paper and ink and pen, and she explains that she used to be a paladin for the moon goddess, and their strifes had been very victorious because the moon goddess was always on their side. And then one day she prayed, and she said, just to help us through this battle. And she wasn't there for them. They got slaughtered. She was the last one. A stray arrow cut across her throat, just fraying her vocal cords. and it's it was a very touching story. So yeah, I found that really interesting, and yeah, so my character is very, I guess, let's just say charming, but he tried to console her and said, maybe you could join us. So we're trying to get into a guild. So she kind of smiled at that, but and kind of got angry when I mentioned my patron, I guess, which is Lamash too. Don't know why I chose Lamash too. I just thought it'd be interesting. Mother monsters as well. He says that he himself is a monster. That's why he always. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention my character always wears a mask. That's why the players, the rest of the players don't even know my race. The DM does. He actually helped me. Actually, he came up with the concept. I absolutely loved it. So after that we went upstairs, ended up fighting a gibbering mouther in just a very large room, and the DM didn't quite take into account that we were all rangers, and this gibbering mouther was in the middle of the room and can only move 10 feet. So we go upstairs, and we're just like, okay, well, this is the next floor, which is the final one that we had, was really, really well furnished, a lot of areas. So we go into this office area, and I'm the first one in, and I step on, have my feet on a rug, which was a rug of smothering, knocks me out, knocks the paladin out, the Oathbreaker, and we're all just like, we fight. Hold on, what did we fight? I have a list of things that we fought, because I thought this was funny, and we eventually kill it, or take it out. So we end up killing 3 Vine Blights, 2 animated armors, a zombie ogre, a carrion crawler, a gibbering mouther, and almost get killed by a rug. Yeah, so that's where the session ended. After we took it out, we just kind of took a rest. Very well done, very well constructed. Biggins did good. Josh, excuse me, he did very well. It was fun. It was fun. That's all. That's why, like, whenever another dungeon master asked me, like, was it okay? Was the session okay? It's like, dude, I had fun. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter what you put in it. I'm going to have fun. I'm rolling dice. I'm playing with my friends. It's going to be fun. And yeah, so it was a good session. I can't wait to see where the one go. My character. I can't wait to see where, I think her name was Peth, which is my fiance's character, and hopefully we can get my brother and Lamont to actually join us next time. We'll see. That's next week. Alright, well, thank you very much. Have a good one.